Hi there, my name is Andy Colley, and I'd like to thank you for clicking on this link and also for wanting to know more about how you can take control of your life working from home. My background is in the project management and construction industry, and this involved a massive amount of hours and a lot of working away from home and working weekends. This meant that I didn't have the family time that I've always wanted. It was almost an expectation of me to miss the kids' nativity plays, sports days, parents' evening, as well as family get-togethers and social events. I soon realised that I was missing out on important personal life events and that I needed to regain some kind of a work-life balance. I now believe I have found the way to work flexible hours, be based from home, work with a great bunch of people and receive all the training that I need. Now the following video will give you an insight of the company who I partner with, covering its history, its products and the income potential for you.
Now the first slide that we've got of our presentation challenges us in a big way. Certainly I had this experience too, which is you can't change your life if you don't change your thinking. And that means for most of us that we need to take off our blinkers and just approach this without any preconceived ideas.
Now we have lots of challenges in normal life. Certainly from my experience of working through my career, my hours when employment work longer. Certainly from a traditional business it has it too. And those commutes to and fro work that I used to have just seemed to be endless, and I used to daydream thinking there must be a better time or a better way in which I can spend my time. Due to my variety of work, I've always had lots of small little pensions, but also the national pension, which I would look forward to when I eventually do retire, was going to be a sum total of about just over £500 per month. It was not a way to actually live the life of my dreams. And of course we're also confronted with that lack of job security. From when I started my career many years ago now, I had a job virtually for life, as long as I kept doing what I was told to do. And these days we have these 0-hour contracts, and literally the boards can be pulled from underneath you at any stage. It's very, very insecure being in employment.
Simultaneously, we have needs in our life. I think certainly most of us could do with more style in the life that we've already got. And financial independence, whatever that means for you. Extra cash. When I first got involved with Forever, there was a dire need for simply extra cash. I'm very happy to say that I've long since passed that time and become debt free. Oh, that is such an exciting moment. I photocopied all my statements with their notes on them, and getting to the point where you are completely financially independent is a very, very liberating experience. Now, working from home simply makes common sense. More and more companies are realising that you get much more from your workforce, and it's a lot less tiring for people to be able to work from home, and certainly with technology the way it is, there's no reason why we all can't do that. Success means different things to different people. I think perhaps we all seek that sense of fulfilment at the end of the day, and the great news is, working alongside Forever, you're assured a better health. But whatever it is, even if it's only the start of what's coming, it leads to a tremendous feeling of peace of mind.
Now, when I was looking for Forever, I was looking for something that was stable, something that had a track record of consistency, but at the same time I was very much looking for something that had values and morals and something that stood for something. When I obviously came across Forever and discovered that Rex Morn, who started the company back in 1978, matched a lot of my needs of what I was looking for. And in fact, this mission statement, we will create a profitable environment where individuals can with dignity be what they want to be, with integrity, empathy and fun are our guides. I knew I was in the right place.
Forever Living now operate out of 150 countries around the globe. Our turnover has exceeded $2.6 billion. We have a phenomenal asset base, largely of owned head offices. You're about to see one on the slide, of in excess of $1.5 billion. Now, Rex was a wise man because he realised he couldn't possibly know everything himself, and he surrounded himself with some extremely experienced people to join him and to have produced a very stable environment for the rest of us. cash rich and debt free. Nice work if you can get it. I think for most people we wish we could be cash rich and debt free, but for a company to be cash rich and debt free is very unusual. And what it does mean is that we completely row our own boat, and we're not having our strings pulled by any sort of financial institutions. In Rex's own words, if I can't afford it, I don't buy it.
Now, along with all that stability, what I also saw was a consistent growth over that period of time of over 30 years. And that's regardless of recessions, wars, anything, Forever consistently grew because Rex had got that business model just right.
Now closer to home we have Longbridge Manor. This is our UK head office. It's a beautiful Grade 2 listed building, and I have to say it was the very first time that I thought, gosh, perhaps what I've been told about Forever might be true, because I actually bothered to drive there, go and find it, and was ecstatic to find that there was in fact a nameplate and that the doors weren't locked. And I have to say, when I smelt the fresh flowers and the furniture polish, something in my heart made me think, do you know what, this is going to be all right. Now, founded in 1993, we haven't been here quite as long as in America. Our sales last year grew by 27% to exceed £50 million worth of sales. Just jot that down somewhere because it'll be quite interesting for later. And we've been given a number of prestigious awards, including the Investor in People at the Gold Standard and the Direct Selling Association Award.
And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the products.
Forever are the world's biggest cultivated aloe vera growers in the world. We're also the world's biggest beekeepers. From day one, Rex has pursued a green policy, so we don't use any insecticides, pesticides or fertilisers. A bit like a banana, we only use the inner leaf gel. In other words, we only use the bit in the middle. In fact, we use our outer leaves as compost, and they're composted and put back on the land. Now, anything, once it's been picked, has a finite shelf life, and the thing that Forever has learnt how to do is to stabilise that aloe vera and give it a shelf life. So in other words, what's in the bottle is identical to what came out of the leaf, and its efficacy still very much intact and not spoilt in any way by the processes that it's been through. So we pride ourselves in being as natural as we possibly can, and that process has been patented so that nobody else can copy us. So what that leads to is a very superior quality product.
Now, when I looked at the product opportunity and the opportunity within the market, I have to say I knew nothing about aloe vera, and it got me quite worried in our beehive products. But I was immediately reassured to find out that we actually do have an advisory board that we can come to. In fact, as we see there on the left-hand side is Dr. Peter Atherton. He was a conventional GP. He took a 2-year sabbatical at Green's College, Oxford, part funded by the NHS. He's now Europe's leading light in aloe vera. He's also written several books. In the middle is Dawn Parker. She's a beautician and nutritionist, a vast experience, very, very useful, and does a lot of our international trainings along with Peter. And also on the right hand side, David Urch, who's a vet. Our products can actually be used for animals too. In fact, David also went to the Beijing Olympics with the equestrian team.
Now, our products have got a number of seals of approval. We were a founder member of the International Aloe Council. As you can probably tell, Forever does everything up to a standard rather than down to a price. We have the Islamic Society, we have the kosher rating, and we have the halal seal of approval. We are also cruelty-free and not tested on animals. In fact, far from. It's used to help animals, and it works incredibly well. But perhaps that big banner across the top is incredible. Despite our continuous growth for 36 years, we've always had a 60-day money-back guarantee. Fantastic. Nationally, the returns rate is about 0.5%. That includes what gets dropped in the warehouse.
And our product range is quite diverse, to say the least. And it's the most important thing, it's within a growing market. You can be in either one area or you can work across all areas. The choice is totally yours. The most important thing, as I said before, these markets are growing.
Now initially, when I got involved with Forever, I did wonder now, where am I going to find my customers and which is the area I should be heading for? perhaps I can tell you who my youngest customer is now. Well, they're teething. Does that give you a clue? And my oldest customer actually is a distributor. They've just recently joined. They're 82. So it's everybody. Everybody is that you know is a potential customer, and we've got products that fit into many niche areas.
So, would I actually use them myself? I've not really come from a health and wellness background, but what I did realise, if I was to make this business work, I needed to try them. And that's exactly what I went to do. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the products.
I'm going to tell you about my 3 favourite products from the Forever range. Now, this we're looking at here is a box that you get when you first join Forever. The idea of this is for you to have a selection of products to try out yourself. It contains 20 of our best sellers, and with it, alongside it, comes one of our literature packs, which has got all the things in it that you would need to start your business, like a product manual and a receipt pad and so on. But the interesting bit is what's inside the packaging on the table. I have to say, what did it for me was the yellow bottle. When I very first was introduced to Forever, with absolutely no belief whatsoever, I started drinking the yellow gel, and I have to say, to my absolute astonishment, in just 4 days, 15 years of backache disappeared. And I can just remember thinking, "Ooh, that's lucky." What I had no idea was that it would continue to work and continue to work and continue to work, and 19 years later, you know what, I still take it. So it's a really good product. You need a small amount per day, one of those little shots full. I have to say, I've switched over to the Forever Freedom these days, but the drinks themselves are the backbone of our business, and no surprises why. Try it yourself and you'll feel an enormous health benefit from doing so. I'm also going to choose 2 other products. I'm going to choose the Forever Heat Lotion, because this is one of those immediate impact products. When you put it on, it instantaneously works. If you're one of those people who've either done too much sport or too much gardening, what you need is some of this. Put it on immediately and the pain just stops. It's just fantastic. It contains a eucalyptus and capsicum oil, and those capsicum oil or pepper oil stops the nerves sending the signals back that something's hurting. So whether you pull the muscle on your leg or whatever it might be, it just works an absolute treat. And then finally, the last product I'm going to choose is pollen. Pollen is one of our beehive products. There are tablets in here. They're little grains of pollen stuck together with honey. They taste sweet. They're great. It's an alternative for biscuits, I have to say. But the real benefit to them is that they give you extra energy. So a couple of these and a little drink of water, and you're good for hours, I have to say. A long drive home at the end of the day, you'll just eat it for breakfast if you've had your couple of pollen to help you get back home. And just as a side effect, they stop you having hay fever. Fantastic product. So as I say, this all comes in your box that you get when you first get involved with Forever.
Now can you see the product variety we have, with all the startup pack with this new distributor pack, and also of course that free business pack up as well. Now when I was told originally about I could start a business for $199.75, and I compared that through my traditional business, my last one cost me nearly $30,000, and that was before I opened the doors, I realised that there's more of an investment in myself as opposed to a business investment. And at the very least, I'll be a much healthier person because of it. But I took that leap of faith and I've never looked back.
Okay, when I came across Forever, I had in fact dabbled in 2 previous network marketing companies, and I quite like this, that Forever's really transparent. I mean, what it's actually telling us all is there is no such thing as a free lunch. Well, welcome to the real world. But what we're going to be showing you are examples of what can happen when you apply yourself consistently. I'm not even saying over a long period of time, but apply yourself consistently, work hard, and what we're going to be showing you are actually taken from our company payroll, and actually what I've experienced myself.
And here are our actual product market potential. You can see they're fairly large. And if you remember that figure earlier on about our current UK turnover is in excess of £50 million, you can see we've still got a long way to go to develop our business with this market. It's a huge market opportunity. And as I sort of covered earlier, we are in a growing market. It's a wonderful opportunity for anyone looking for a business to start and develop from there.
Well, I was very keen to find myself some customers and some other guinea pigs who are going to give me a bit of feedback on these products. Because actually, like Simon, I had no real interest in natural health, but I have to say I find it absolutely fascinating now. So, of course, I used it myself and got a great result. And also, I tried it out on my children. and on my mum and other people that I cared about. And what we all found was that we got great results. And do you know what? It really wasn't long before people were looking at us and saying, well, you seem to be full of energy. What's happened to you? Because it really does make you feel like you've had a month's holiday overnight. It's great.
So from being your best customer is then identifying some customers. And as Cherry's already covered, they are literally everywhere. And we simply find them by conversational marketing. This is a business of recommendation, not a business of selling, which is very important. So, by developing those 20 to 30 customers, and this takes about 10 hours per month, you can expect to gain an income between £200 to £400 per month. This is the first channel of our income. If you think about that, for a family who cannot afford maybe to go on holiday, this makes the difference between a holiday and no holiday. It could be even putting food on the table. It makes a substantial difference when you add along other income into the household. However, I was looking for something a little bit more than this because I wanted a full-time income with part-time hours.
So, like Simon, I was looking for a much bigger income than something that could be achieved from a small amount of retail. So what I discovered was, let's talk to people about the business opportunity as well. Sometimes it was those customers, and often it was as a result of the change that people had seen in me, that they became interested in finding out more about either the products or the business. So what I'm about to show you is something called multiplying your time, or time leverage. This is what bosses have over their employees, but this is what most of us never get to experience for ourselves. And the model I'm going to show you is, of course, just in the perfect world. But let's just expand that for a moment and let's do the perfect world. So first of all, let's imagine that you know two people who, just like you, perhaps would like to earn some extra income. Well, let's teach and show them how to use the products themselves. That doesn't take too much time, and let's help and find them some customers. And you'll see that the 2 on one side directly correlates to the numbers of customers on the other side. So an extra 2 people in your team, now you've got an extra 40 customers. I'm sure that you probably get the picture. So let's also help and show them how to find 2 people to join their business. So 4 becomes 120 customers. So the 2 becomes 4, the 4 becomes 8, and the 8 becomes 16. So now collectively on the left hand side we've got a team of 30 people, and collectively on the right hand side we've got 600 customers, and Forever will pay us a small bonus on all customers being serviced. So if you want to earn more money, simply help more people. So by creating a manager of this kind of size, what sort of income could we expect to receive? Well, Forever will pay you a bonus on your whole team's turnover, and it'll be somewhere between £800 to £2,000 per month, slightly depending upon the development of that team, and it's what we call a manager business. Now, what's unusual about Forever is because you're being offered an uncapped income, you can dream as big as you like and set goals as big as you like, because Forever will never let you down in terms of being able to earn enough to achieve them. Now, many people in Forever are creating incomes like this in extraordinarily short periods of time.
So if you can find 2 people, could you potentially find another 3 people to actually join your team and watch how your business will grow? Just customers, but also team members as well. Because straight away, exponentially, you have a customer base of 100 with 5 team members we are working alongside. If we found another 5 team members each again, you're already at the same size as we saw that previous example with that 600 customers, and see how much quicker your team will grow. And those find 5 each, we have 125 team members. And on the right hand side, of course, we've now got over 3,000 customers. And those find 5 each again, we have a team of over 780 team members. Nearly over 15,500 customers as well. Just imagine for one moment some of those shops in the last recession who closed just for the want of more customers. But we can do this, but remember, you're still only looking after your 20 to 30 customers. This business is all about a lot of people doing a little bit.
Now on top of that, the company offers a royalty style income. Now what this means is, for helping create those freestanding manager businesses, that the company will reward you in exactly the same way that somebody like, say, Elvis Presley was rewarded for creating and recording songs, many of them many, many years ago. In fact, dear old Elvis is long since passed on, but his estate still receives the royalty income from the work that was done. And exactly the same is true with Forever, and it's not just here in the UK, but it's also worldwide. So it really does, as the slide actually says, open up a world of possibilities and incentives. And that's true. Oh yes, it does.
So what is our income potential? Well, once you get to that position of manager, which we've been covering over the previous slides, you can expect an income of around about £30,000 per annum. Remember, these incomes are all on part-time hours. That's the difference where I was from my previous businesses, where I was full-time, working long hours and not having the time which to actually spend the money which I was earning. Now, if you can simply find some more people, just watch what will happen to your income. If you can find 2 more people to develop into managers within your own business, you'll be an income of £45,000. Once again, not bad for part-time. If you keep progressing and developing your team further, and find, say, 5 managers to you introduce and develop within your team, your income of now an annual income of £70,000 per annum. And 9 managers you've found now, £100,000 per year. I guess at this stage, if you're still working, you may be time to consider that your boss just simply cannot afford you. Diamond Sapphire Manager, that's 17 individually introduced managers into the business. Now at £200,000 per year, you are in the top 1% earners in the UK. The big difference is you're going to have time to enjoy your income. You're also not going to have the stress that many of those income earners in this wage bracket will feel on a day-to-day basis. Also, there's a diamond manager as well, and that's 25 managers plus. As you see, it's £350,000 on the slide, but I can assure you the diamond managers that are based in the UK are on far more than that.
Now, the company operate all sorts of quite generous incentives because ultimately there is no repercussion if you don't do what you say you're going to do, beyond you don't get your dream. But if you're prepared to work away systematically, you can expect your business to grow, and once it reaches a certain size and you've passed the position of manager, this is one of the first things that you'll qualify for, which is the Earned Incentive Programme. Now, it's been nicknamed a car plan because lots of people use it to buy a car, but you could receive up to an extra £6,300 per month to do whatever you want with the money. And I have to say, I've seen people build swimming pools, buy lorries, buy tractors, and lots of fancy cars. About over 300 in the UK have been bought and paid for on this plan. In fact, I myself have been driving around in cars bought and paid for by the car plan now for over 18.5 years. Very nice it is too.
And the incentives just don't stop there. We also have global travel incentives. Just imagine, I'm sure that you'd like to have a holiday, but wouldn't it be nice if someone else pays for the holiday for you? The great thing about Forever, that opportunity is open to everyone once you reach that manager position. And there's also an additional opportunity to have spending money too. And quite often when Cherry and I come back from our world travels, we tend to come back with more money than we actually start with, which is a nice incentive. See, holidays for free, never have to pay for another one ever again.
Now, on top of that, and indeed it's on that fancy holiday that you get to see the big cheques, because it's part of our global profit share. And these people that you can see on the slide here are well-known Forever folk, and many of them have qualified for cheques over and over again. So this is a one-off payment given to people who are helping to create those freestanding manager businesses. Now, the first time you get one of these, it's usually in the order of about £2,500. But there is no upper limit. And on this slide, you can see our diamond manager couple picking up a profit share cheque for over £500,000. Not bad for a one-off payment, is it?
How to build a team. There are lots of opportunities for people in many different walks of life to develop a career within Forever Living. Graduates, for example, are an ideal case. There are 55 graduates per one graduate placement. And Forever can provide that career path that can certainly fulfil their skills that they're looking to use. People who are dissatisfied with their work, I probably talk to them on a day-to-day basis. And once again, Forever can provide that opportunity to their financial freedom. That revolving door of employment, certainly from the days when I started my career many years ago, jobs were for a long time, if not for life, Certainly now with the 0-hour contracts and obviously limiting short-term contracts, it makes it very difficult to plan ahead. Those of obviously approaching retirement, as we do live in an ageing population, have a very uncertain future. Some simply do not have plans in place, i.e. pensions that will cover their retirement. Forever can fill that gap. And of course families, even though the cost of living has gone up, the family budget probably hasn't. And Forever can provide that wonderful, ideal solution and also give you more time to spend with your family.
This is what we call our sponsoring cycle. Initially, we're going to spot people and potential team members and contact and share a little bit of information with them. And if that pricks their interest, get them together with a business presentation. That might be online, that might be in a hotel somewhere in the many places we have them around the countryside. And then what's really important is give these guys a helping hand to get their business started. This is what's called as the sponsoring cycle, and you can go around it once a year, you can go around it once a month, once a week, or once a day. It all just depends on how much you want to achieve and just how quickly.
So what do people say about Forever Living? Well, first and foremost, there's not one set professional criteria where people come from. They come from all walks of life, from medical doctors through to traditional business owners and to hairstylists. What Forever does offer is something that can work your way through for the rest of your life without that risk of losing your job. And also, if your health does take a downturn, you can still earn a living. Just imagine a hairstylist who would not be able to use their instruments because of their arthritis in the hands or with a bad back.
Here's some more of the characters in Forever. Now, Natalie is an interesting woman because you can see their picture with her little children. And she dabbled with Forever for a number of years. But last year she popped into our top 20 distributors, the very impressive position of number 2. Natalie has become totally financially independent with a great deal of money left over simply by working her business in a very intelligent and smart way using social media from home around her children. There's no denying she's worked hard, but there's absolutely no denying what the girl's achieved. And this is our diamond manager couple, very humble, with Forever ordinary people like us can achieve extraordinary results and lifestyle, which by golly they have, and business investors. So really there are a myriad of opportunities here for a complete diverse collection of different types of people.
So what are the benefits that Forever can offer you? First and foremost, it's a proven business model. This company's been around for over 36 years now, and you've already seen from our previous slides how successful they've been. The income potential is only capped by you, so you can earn as much or as little as you want. It's willable. It's something you can pass on to your family. It's completely flexible, so you can work around your current commitments and work in with those nooks and crannies of your day. Even though you may not be an expert within health and wellness, you're given full training and support to help you establish and build your business from home. And the nice thing, you are recognised and appreciated for every step that you take.
So I guess now we're getting to the part of the presentation where we're thinking to ourselves, could I do this? Will it work for me? And the reality is, yes, if you're prepared to take it seriously and put in the necessary time and effort. Now that's not like a 9 till 5 job. It means for some people half an hour, for some people an hour a day. But it does mean doing it on a regular and consistent basis and making that time to work properly, doing the things you need to do to build your business, not just tidy your desk and file things. Be self-motivated. Tell others about what you're doing. This is the one part where you have to really supply your own batteries. But I think if you have a degree of self-discipline and you know what you want, this becomes a no-brainer. Of course you can. Are you willing to embrace change and tell everybody what you're doing? Wow, have we ever been in a time of more change than we are now? Social media seems to be just changing everything so quickly. The rate at which we can reach out to other people so that we can put a tick in that box, that's a huge step forward. And are you willing to think big, dream big and set goals for yourself? Now, this is a very important part of the process because what it does is it lets us know that we're making progress through the system. They are, if you like, our milestones to success. Now, what's unusual about Forever is because you're being offered an uncapped income, you can dream as big as you like and set goals as big as you like because Forever will never let you down in terms of being able to earn enough to achieve them.
So here are the next steps. First of all, you complete a one-page application form, which can either be done online or offline, and that simply gets your name on your computer and also enables you to trade in those 150 plus countries worldwide. You order your new distributor pack, because without trying the products, I can't generally recommend them to other people. And you also get that free business pack as well. So it gives you time to evaluate the quality of products that you have in your hands. And finally, book book your business planning meeting with the person who introduced you to Forever. This is probably one of the most important meetings, if not the most important meeting you'll ever have in your life.
Let's just review what's on offer with Forever. Whether it's more time to spend with the people that you love, or something exciting like a new car, whether it's a bit of extra cash or becoming completely debt free, whether it's working from home, or discovering what the joys of being your own boss, or success and the happiness and fulfillment that brings you, or better health. All in all, the most important thing of all is what's written in the middle, which is peace of mind. That commodity is absolutely priceless.
So this takes a point of changing the way you think. If you do the same things day in, day out, you'll get the same results. But if you start to change the way you think, your actions will follow. And in turn, your life will also change.
So, can you see what I can see? For the next step, I will make sure to leave my contact details at the end of this video. But thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.